The Dallas Stars are back in the series. VGK lets Game 3 slip away. Our recap on this special edition of Locked On Golden Knights comes your way next.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Sunday service edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick here from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast, of course, and please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. VGK with an overtime loss. Chris was in the house last night. He was in the barn, if you will, in the Knights barn. 3-2, the final in overtime in a game that should have been decided in regulation for the Stars. Stars should have won this game in regulation. They outplayed VGK. Wyatt Johnston, DeBoer said he's 20, and then post-game presser, they said he was 21. So he's 20 and a half. Okay, Wyatt Johnston, whatever, the phenom, scored twice, including the game winner. And if not for Logan Thompson's heroics, 43 saves, this could have been an embarrassing night for the Vegas Golden Knights in their barn.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I had to get Wyatt Johnson's official age, May 14th. So he'll be 21 in about 2 weeks. So there's the official birth date for Wyatt Johnston. Yeah, I mean, Logan Thompson is where this conversation definitely needs to start. What an amazing game. And my immediate emotional reaction, if you will, when Jack Eichel tied that game, that flurry from that save that Logan made.
Why no assist? Why didn't he get an assist on that?
I don't know. I thought the last I don't know if McNabb caused. I don't know exactly. I thought a save could be considered an assist if it goes right. Maybe because it wasn't a shot pass, Tony. That's why. But it was just that flurry, that save. Like it looked like the Stars were about to take a 3-1 lead right there, and then 4 seconds later, a rush, a shorthanded goal, and that was just an absolutely electric moment. And that's just my wow moment from the game right there. Unfortunate that effort was wasted. I mean, looking at the report card from last night, the only players who really got passing grades were Theodore, Barbashev, Barely, Stevenson, Marchessault, Eichel, and McNabb. From Brett Howden all the way down to the pairing of Martinez and Whitecloud, everyone got basically failing grades. And the other big takeaway here is going to be the high danger chances for 27 high danger chances for the Dallas Stars to the Vegas Golden Knights 4.
Whoa.
That's the issue right there.
That's huge.
Golden Knights no 5-on-5 goals. They came 4-on-4 and on the short on the kill as well. So those are the concerns after this game.
You know, this was a desperate Dallas Stars team. Last year, fans quickly forget that Dallas battled back. It was 3-2 in the series, right? And then the Vegas Golden Knights put away this series in game number 6. So they're going to still try to fight and battle and do all those things. And now they forced the best of 7 back to Dallas. And keep in mind, again, we talked about this. The Stars, the best road team in the NHL, fewer distractions on the road, perhaps VGK distracted back at home, especially seeing all their wives wearing those Wags jackets that I posted on my Twitter account.
I saw those, Tony. Good job. Good job. One post-game narrative that I definitely want to get off my chest that I completely and wholeheartedly disagree with. You had the post-game on the radio referencing that, well, it was Hanifin's and Hurdles and Mantha's first ever home playoff games, and they weren't blaming the game on that. I want to make sure I'm painting the right picture here, but to even consider that a factor, I thought was borderline ridiculous. You have Hurdle and all his times he's played in T-Mobile Arena, right? Mantha, of course, a seasoned vet, and of course, Noah Hanifin can play in any circumstance. So that was something I didn't understand. And while we're complaining about things in the arena last night, I was promised a fire-breathing dragon by Kerry Bubolz. I was promised fire. It was on the poster. It's been all over media all week. The fire returns. There was no fire. No fire. That dragon, you know what that dragon had, Tony? Fog.
What?
Fog.
See, they're
It it
stealing
it it
stealing
is
my
a
ideas now.
fog-breathing dragon. It would look
It is.
so cool. It looks amazing, but my gosh, I wanted fire. I didn't get fire, and, that's why I'm sad right now.
Can you explain, please, why Bruce Cassidy moved Thomas Hurdle to the third line and put Brett Howden on line 2 last night?
Well,
That's
I think
inexplicable to me. I don't understand that move at all.
so let's look at this a couple ways right now. Number 1, you saw a big change on the Dallas Stars lines. Let's start there. Wyatt Johnson, Rupe Hintz, and Jason Robertson. They loaded up, and obviously that line accounted for 2 of the 3 goals. So that'll more on that in the second segment, of course. But I think you look at the magic that Stevenson, Howden, and Stone had last year. And I think Cassidy was looking to maybe rekindle some of that and see what Hurdle could do. I mean, you have a line now of Carlson, Hurdle, and Mantha, which becomes a tougher line to play against with Hurdle down there. And I mean, that trio should never lose a faceoff, right? I mean, you got Carlson, who's pretty good at the faceoff circle, and Tomas Hurdle, who is just an absolute beast at faceoffs. So I'm okay with the changes, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because that's going to be kind of the highlight of my third of the second segment.
Okay. Definitely we can get to that. A narrative that I had heard last night and saw on social media blaming the refs. The fans blamed the refs last night. Folks, VGK, as we said
Loser
on
talk.
Friday.
That's loser talk.
Yeah, VGK, as we said on Friday as well, the least penalized team in the National Hockey League. They get every break. Shut up. Shut
Well,
up,
listen,
fans.
there were
You have a
listen
shut up
every
fans video? Shut up, fans.
every game there's going to be calls that are missed, and I think the penalties at the end of the day were 1-to-1 as far as power play to penalty kill situations. If I'm wrong, someone can tell me, but there was the 4-on-4, maybe a couple 4-on-4s as well. So at the end of the day, the refs let him play. Now, the one concern that I did talk about is Stevenson got called for a little bit of a soft hook, not as soft as people are going to make it out to be, because he did create a turnover by doing a stick infraction, which should be a call. But as the game progressed, the standard of a stick infraction seemed to change from where it was with the Stevenson penalty. So if there's a question I'm going to ask, that's certainly the question. But is it did the refs cost? No, the refs were fine. The penalties were 1-to-1. Penalties were 1-to-1. But if I'm going to blast fans, the linesman did take a puck and it was off the ear or off the cheek, but blood everywhere, had to get fixed up. And there was cheering when it happened. There was cheering when it happened. Now, what's that?
Be better. Be better.
Yeah,
man.
no, I mean,
Be
to be
better.
fair, maybe they just thought he was knocked down for a second. They didn't know there was blood, but there was a loud cheer when that happened. And I guess the only thing I'll say to the fans is put on a pair of stripes, put on a pair of skates, put a whistle in your hand. And if you can do a better job, I'm sure the NHL is looking for qualified individuals. But,
Is something
we'll
up with Lars? Is something up with Lars not at the morning skate yesterday?
maybe. I mean, it could be, just a little bit of maintenance right now. I mean, listen, practices are
2
virtually
days in a row. He
meaningless.
only had taken one shot. I don't think he even had a shot last night. Another -1 night.
He had a check he checked someone last night. Like he intended to check somebody. So there you go, Tony.
Intended to. Okay. It's intent.
It was intense, yes. It's a circumstance. No, but listen, this is the time of year practices mean almost next to nothing. You'll see some gatherings between the series if the Golden Knights are fortunate to, of course, if they're fortunate enough to advance out of the first round, which they still should, all things considered. But practices don't mean a whole lot. And if players have any signs of wear and tear, or they're going to err on the side of caution. I mean, I'd say they've had a full season of practice, but that narrative has gone a lot of different ways too.
Another big night, something I wanted to point out too, a big night in the physicality department, 53-29 hits in favor of VGK. Does this become a series of attrition eventually? And then can it impact a subsequent series? And also too, physicality is something that is not in the Golden Knights DNA. So does it backfire perhaps on the Golden Knights?
Vegas during the regular season and Vegas during the playoffs are two completely different teams as far as physicality. And that's not just a Vegas thing. That's the entire National Hockey League.
You see the average hits are way up, totals in games.
Yeah,
are
no,
way
that's
up.
the thing. I mean, people, and I made the joke that William Karlsson intended to hit someone. Players like
Intended.
William Karlsson are out there attempting to throw checks and
He
stuff,
intends
players you
to score
normally don't see
goals.
and stuff like that. He's trying to score goals too. He had some chances, but
Intends.
you're going to see the physicality go way up, and you already have the attrition happening on the Dallas Stars side. They were without Marchman, I believe, and
Marchman.
they only were basically rotating 5 defensemen, if I recall. I thought they might have lost someone last night.
Was Faxa still out?
I
didn't
don't
recall.
got it in front of me. I'll pull up the game report when you're blabbing in a second here, but it was. They did that with 5 defensemen, basically. One of their defensemen only had like 2.5 minutes or something going into the third period. So attrition is going to happen. Vegas already is experiencing attrition, right? Nick Hague is out he's day-to-day, but hasn't practiced, no updates. So he's not close to returning. I would probably comfortably say he's not going to return this series, but maybe I'm totally wrong on that. So, yeah, I mean, whoever comes out of this series, there's going to be some wear and tear. And this could be the best first round series in the Western Conference. I mean, obviously there's a lot of runway left before we can determine that, but as of right now, there's a very good chance the winner of this series does represent the Western Conference in the Stanley Cup final.
Coming up next, Pete DeBoer made the necessary adjustments with what he said was a team that was desperate, a team that had its season perhaps on the line in that game last night. We'll talk about that next right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Don't forget, you can get your tickets for game number 4 at Gametime. And Gametime now, an authorized ticket marketplace for Major League Baseball, which it makes getting your tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch or to that puck drop, if you will. And of course, you can get the last minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals, all of that. Easy to find and buy tickets of all sorts, and for every type of event in our area here in Vegas. And of course, you could get your last minute deals where you save up to 60% off of buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and much more. The flash deals, you can save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of a game or an event. Zone deals save even more when you choose a section and like Gametime, choose the seats. They do the rest of the work. And then there's all-in pricing. If you toggle this feature, it shows the total up front. No surprise fees coming up at checkout, and lowest price guaranteed on Gametime, or they credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app today, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL, and you will get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use the redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Back on this special edition, we call this the Sunday Service edition of Locked On Golden Knights. And again, a special shout out to all the Wagoos there with a nice pose in the photo there in front of T-Mobile Arena. Don't forget Friday's WTF. Saturday, the Chris and Chris Jr. show, the YouTube exclusive, which is just knocking them dead. So we need to credit Pete DeBoer for making the adjustments in Game 3, right? Dallas did better defensively. They clogged the neutral zone. They forced the Golden Knights to play the perimeter game. This is something that we saw in reverse, especially in Game 2 in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we said in the Chris and Chris show on Saturday was exactly that. The Dallas Stars needed to keep the Golden Knights to the outside. And the Golden Knights they didn't mind going to the outside, but when they got to the outside, it was either a turnover or a very poor shot attempt. When I say poor shot attempt, I'm not saying the players did a bad job or anything like that. I'm simply saying that maybe their first choice was to panic and throw the puck towards the net, which is not a bad thing sometimes, but you would prefer to see a little more chip and chase, I think, a little more that dirty game in the corner, right? Not dirty, dirty playing dirty or anything like that, but just that dirty, physical, win your board battles type of game. A spot where like a Paul Cotter would have been really comfortable. That type of game. No, Cotter should not be in the lineup right now. I'm just using that as an example. The Golden Knights, we've seen them play the Los Angeles Kings countless times over the last 7 seasons. And even with different coaches, the Kings still are one of those teams that just muddy up the neutral zone and really force you to do that chip and chase game and don't give you the rush opportunities. Well, that's what the Dallas Stars did. Now the Golden Knights did score one goal off the rush. Penalty kill a little different, but still off the rush. Same thing right there. But you would have liked just a little more old school 80s hockey, get across that red line, get that puck in, and just go in the corners and get dirty and go to work. And didn't happen. And again, full marks to Pete DeBoer for out coaching Bruce Cassidy in this game.
It doesn't happen frequently, and Cassidy was really frustrated last night in that short post-game presser. The poor start again. They dug the 2-0 hole, and VGK did what they did not want to do, and that was to chase the game. Mark Stone, so transparent and honest in the post-game, said that his team sat back in overtime. He said that Dallas played the game that we wanted to. They played north-south. Enough said.
Yeah, 100%. And you know why we're calling this segment DeBoer out Coach Cassidy. So I liked Cassidy making a change in the lines. Like I thought there was some of that chess game right there. You saw what Pete DeBoer was going to do with that line of Rupe, Robo, and Wyatt Johnston. So then you see the response of, so to speak, out of Coach Cassidy with the Brett Howden line coming back for its second playoff run. So well, I don't mind the chess move right there. It was the wrong move at the end of the day, and we're going to measure the game based off of results, not based off of effort and stuff. Well, Logan gets an A+++ for effort, but as far as the outcome of the game, the only thing that matters is the outcome. And Pete DeBoer had the team ready. I mean, listen, a lot of this is just human nature. You're down 2-0. You know, if you go down 3-0 in this series, it's over, done, end of story, and you move on and pack your bags and hit the golf course, not the golf cart like I did on Thursday. So credit the Stars, credit DeBoer, and Coach Cassidy did make the comment that he needs to prepare the team better. This is the talk that we heard against the Columbus Blue Jackets around game 60 when that funk was happening and stuff like that. And we'll hit this more in the third segment, but there's some questions right now about this Golden Knights team all of a sudden. And when you go from a 2-0 series lead against the top team in the West to wondering what the lines are going to look like and all these things, there's some concerns. And again, we'll get deeper into that in the third segment, of course.
It's not characteristic of Cassidy, though, just switching around lines here in the playoffs. That I didn't understand that move myself personally. And then Stone also
it was unnecessary last year, and I don't know if it was necessary this year.
Okay, fair. And then Stone also talked about Dallas. What they did was they rimmed the pucks a lot. And a lot of the pucks they hit off the on the breakout, and they rimmed them out. And he said that his team got greedy and not patient in the attack. So a lot of odd man chances for Dallas. What could this score have been if not for Logan Thompson? For real.
147-2. I mean, Logan Thompson was phenomenal. And I mean, I know everyone's going to go back to the Aiden Hill stick save from last year, or you go back to Marc-Andre Fleury's statue save and all that. But I don't know if I've ever seen a better goalie performance inside the fortress than what I saw out of Logan Thompson. And you know, listen, he lost the game at the end of the day. Sure, he didn't lose the game, but his team lost the game is the way to say that. So I'm sure he's just as down as anyone else about it. I'm sure he gives a rat's you know what about his performance. The team lost, so what? But man, he is definitely, you know, credit Sean Burke and Bruce Cassidy for finally coming around in game 83, 84, and 85, right? You know, to figure out that Logan right now is the best goalie for the circumstances. It's not an excuse. So it's awesome to watch Logan doing well out there. And I mean, I'll pat myself on the back. I called this in the offseason. We talked about this. I said he was the better goalie. He's the better goalie right now. But of course, we're not going to take away the Stanley Cup that the team won with Aiden Hill on the ice. Trying to figure out a couple things here. So Hurdle drops down to the third line with William Karlsson. 12 face-off wins, 8 face-off losses. Hold on 1 second. William Karlsson. Okay, here's a question here.
Has he taken one shot the entire series? I think.
I don't care about the shots. Here's what I care about.
One.
How many face-offs did William Karlsson take last night?
I didn't see.
2.
Interesting.
So here's what we're going to look at right now while you talk in a second, but we're not going to go to the third segment until we look at all this. But maybe that's why Tomas Hertl is on the third line. Maybe William Karlsson has an injury like Jack Eichel back in season 5, where he shouldn't be taking faceoffs right now. Talk for a
Yeah.
second, and I'm
No,
doing some research here.
yeah, he's got that hurt ego, of course, because a lot of the other players are taking the shine away from him. And he's
Stunts.
not getting, you know why? I'm surprised they didn't parade him out last night to speak in the post game, because that's what they do, even if he plays a mid game. And then, for LT, he's playing like a goaltender that does not want to give up the net, right? He surely is fighting and trying to keep that job now that he has it. I thought his best save earlier was on, was that on Thomas Harley? I think early on.
Are you
Remember
talking
that
about where
one?
he's down on the ground and he goes and the puck winds? Yeah, I mean, there was so many of those saves, from the breakaways to when he's on the ground and finds a way to reach his glove up at the last second. And the save before that, I think, was actually the better of the saves. Just the glove save was the one that definitely looked to be more exciting given the circumstances. So we have some breaking news coming in right now about William Karlsson's faceoff numbers. 2 faceoffs last night. Game 1 took 12 faceoffs. Game 2, William Karlsson took 10 faceoffs. Game 3, William Karlsson took 2 faceoffs. So was that simply because Hertl is on that line because of Hertl's the better of the faceoff person?
It's
People, so
better.
maybe
Yeah.
that's why it's happening.
Good point.
Or is it because there's a reason William Karlsson isn't taking the faceoffs right now? So this will I'll put this out there on Twitter and we'll see what the people say.
Okay. And keep in mind, though, too, we talked about Dallas on Friday about on the road this season. I think they were the best or one of the top teams
I think the best
in faceoffs,
Oh, sorry.
54% faceoffs. And they won, I think, by 1 faceoff last night in that game. But yeah, no, interesting point there on Willie Karlsson. And I'm not sure what's going on with him, but they need him to get back into the act. And they also need the Flying Burrito Brothers line 4, a -3 last night, and no shot attempts.
They were minus, really? They were on the ice for the GWG, huh?
I think
They were
so.
-3. There's no -3s last night. Tony, what were we
-1 for each
Minus
player.
one is a big difference from -1 to -3, but yeah. Yeah,
-1
Wah
for each player.
-1,
It's a
Theodore,
collective.
Martinez, Colasar -1. I mean, listen, there's no issue with the fourth line right now. They had chances. They had the puck deep. They were out there. Line 4 wasn't bad. I mean, I got the report card in front of me still here. Let's see. I do got.
Let me ask you a question here. Would you definitely, talk about? So Cassidy says something in the presser, right? And then state-run media goes with that theme, but they never seem to credit Bruce Cassidy. So one said announcer just kept talking about the temperature going up, and then worked a national game and said the temperature is going to go up in this game. Temperature's rising, and Bruce Cassidy said that. Credit him, bro. Okay.
I mean, listen, it's
It's Sundays. We're just gonna. It's the Sunday service.
Spoon fed from above Cassidy. Even we know that.
Okay. VGK, is there concern heading into game number 4, the pivotal game in this series? We'll talk about that when we return. The first pivotal game. We return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. I want to talk today about Monopoly Goal. Monopoly Go. I always call it goal. Goal. We need the goal horn when I do this. Monopoly Go. And I'm sure you've heard of it. It's been downloaded more than 150 million times. A great twist on Monopoly. You play not just one board, but hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations. You build up amazing cities, and you bring home the big money. And you can also charge your friends rent on your iconic properties, just like classic Monopoly. And the leaderboards show us who the biggest Monopoly tycoon is, and much, much more. But again, it's not just our competitive side on this show that really likes it. You can team up with your friends, people all around the world in time tournaments, and you can earn huge rewards. So get in the game and join your friends. Download Monopoly Go now for free on the App Store or on Google Play. That is Monopoly Go for free on the App Store and Google Play. Back on this special Sunday edition of Locked On Golden Knights. We appreciate you tuning in wherever you are. Of course, especially our good friends in Reykjavik tuning in today. Big numbers. I think we had a couple downloads in Iceland the other day, and much, much more. Don't forget Fridays, WTF. Saturdays, we've got the Chris and Chris Jr. show. I'm just beat up. I need to ice down today. I was out at the big show last night, Sick New World, and watching VGK a little bit here and there, back and forth, trying to watch the Golden Knights in the mosh pit. Now, that was something to behold. So I felt the physicality myself. I felt it myself. What a great time there. Big show here in Vegas, man. I know you want, I invited you to go, bro.
I told to get me a ticket, and then I realized that VGK was Saturday. If there was not a Golden Knights game, I'd probably still be there passed out somewhere.
It was
wearing
fun.
My green jersey.
Why are you wearing green? Is this a superstitious thing?
No, it's fun, and it drives people nuts.
You wore the green jersey last night, huh?
I did, and I did it with intent because it pisses people off. But listen, it's fun. It's okay to be a little different, be a little goofy. I get funny reactions from the Stars fans who give me a high five, and we exchange a few pleasantries and stuff. The Golden Knight fans, one guy in the restroom in the third period, this guy starts booing me. He'd had a few to drink. He's like, boo, boo. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Why are you booing me?
I thought you were Mark Stone.
Yeah, right. He's like, your jersey, bro. I'm like, dude, knock it off. Like I was being serious with them and confrontational. He looks down. He's like, oh, bro. He tried to high five me. I'm like, go wash your hands. But
yeah. Oh no,
it was a good time.
Listen, you don't high five in the restroom.
No, there's a rule against that.
I don't even do knuckles there, right?
So
they might get an elbow, maybe.
Listen, okay, it's fun. It's okay. That's why we do it. It's fun. Yes, I'm wearing the hat today. Get over it, people. We're having fun.
VGK, the slow start again on Saturday. How did the Golden Knights get out to a quick start in game number 4?
I mean, listen, the Stars aren't going to. Pete DeBoer has to recreate that desperate mentality now. It's something that you just don't pull out of thin air and tell the players, we're going to be desperate because it's not 2-1, it's 2-0, whatever. Like, you can't recreate that mindset, but you got to do your best, obviously, as Pete DeBoer would, to have the Dallas Stars thinking that way. Bruce Cassidy, now this is where the series really begins. This is where Cassidy earns his paycheck for being a Stanley Cup champion coach. Cassidy's, and maybe this is forced now. Like I said, we got a whole new narrative coming up right now, but let's just assume William Karlsson is fine for a second, and Cassidy was
will the temperature go up?
The temperature should go up. It better go up. I mean, Coach Cassidy took ownership. I have to prepare the team better. And he was outcoached. His first failure, if you will, of the series. And let's be clear, I don't care what the lines were. The Golden Knights did not put forward a winning effort. I mean, outside of Logan Thompson, I can find a flaw in every single player's game last night. Logan, great. Every other player on the ice, not great. End of story. So we'll see how that transpires to game number 4. We'll see what changes Bruce Cassidy has. I mean, for me, again, this is assuming William Karlsson is healthy, which I get this feeling he's not now. But let's assume William Karlsson is healthy. Stop changing winning lineups. Don't change a winning lineup. This is your lineup, your forward lines that won games 1 and 2, not convincingly by any means, but they won games 1 and 2. So I didn't necessarily see the second, and to be fair, the first line, not really either, but the second and third line just kind of seemed out there at times doing their thing, but they weren't really a force to be reckoned with. Golden Knights were able to roll 3 offensive lines for games 1 and 2. So I think the first change, go back to the lines that work. But what does Cassidy feel the concern level is, I think? I mean, is this where he scratches a Brett Howden and here comes Pavel Dorofeev or something to make his postseason debut? Does Mike Amadio draw? Like, where is Coach Cassidy's head right now? But with William Karlsson missing the morning skate and then still playing, only taking 2 faceoffs after taking 10 and 12 in the previous games, there's something there.
And they moved him, most importantly, they moved him off of empty net goal 1, ENG 1. I thought that was
everyone's off empty net goal 1. They didn't have that opportunity.
Yeah, they not last night, of course.
Carlson could be in a full body stretcher. He's still
Okay,
going to be a full body cast. He's still empty net goal one line, Tony, just
of
so you
course,
understand.
he'll still be there. So again, simple solution: Hurdle center, line 2; Stevenson center, line 3. Done. Done. Well, why can't you just do that? Put Dorofeev on the second line with Stone
Are
and
you
Hurdle.
scratching, like honest conversation? Are you scratching Carlson because right
Well,
now
if he's
because
not
of
going to
injury?
help you, what's he doing right now?
Okay, so you're suggesting
Oh, he's
even if
playing. Oh, I
Carlson's
know. I
healthy,
know.
they're going to scratch
He's
him?
he still is playing. He said Pete DeBoer won't allow him to have any creativity. That's the biggest issue there.
You made it almost the whole show, Tony. You made it almost the whole show. Not bad.
Okay, this was so rigged last night that the line was a pick 'em when they started. You would have thought
The
VGK
line,
on
so
home ice.
I'm glad you brought the line up. So listen, the line, I don't care what the money was. I don't care what anyone's opinion on the game was. That line was simply the sports book saying one of these teams is not winning or losing 3 games in a row this series. That's what that line was, and it was a good line. I'm sure it got great two-way action.
You got tons.
Locally, they even hung the 10% boost on it on both sides, which I thought was a brilliant play. So, you know, these are 2 good teams. These are 2 good teams, and there's some Golden Knight fans panicking after that. Like, why would any Golden Knight fan be upset right now? There is no reason. The Golden Knights are up 2-1 against the Western Conference leading Dallas Stars, and they still, I mean, I guess they've technically lost home ice advantage. No, there's 3 games. No, the Golden Knights still are
Still
fine
have
as
home
far
ice.
as and all that. Yeah. So I mean, there's nothing at all to be concerned about. Now, listen, if the Stars win game 4, then it's a different story, of course. But if that's the case, fine, so be it. Then it's better to be the road team in this series anyway, which favors the Golden Knights. So there's no reason to be concerned. Yeah, sure, there's a concern, yes, but don't be concerned about the results of game 3. Maybe you can be concerned about Pete DeBoer, about Coach Cassidy overthinking this. You can be concerned that Pete DeBoer learned how to coach in a big game. Give him credit. That was mean, but Pete DeBoer does deserve full marks for having the team ready and finding a way to get a victory in the most important time of his 2023-24 season.
Okay, so we've seen this before this season with Cassidy, especially where Cassidy tries to push every button, but the team does not respond. So is it on Cassidy or just the team not responding again in a crucial situation, especially at home?
So we've seen this song and dance from Cassidy before. Number one, Cassidy took ownership. I got to prepare the
He
team.
always
Okay,
does. That's
fine.
good. That's a good
Yeah,
thing.
but
Great
same breath,
trait.
Cassidy has also made comments that he's not the rah-rah big speech win one for the Gipper type. Once the game starts, once the players go over the boards, there's nothing he can do. I mean, kind of like my old sportsbook manager, Bill Sattler. Once the game starts, there's not an effing thing you can do about it. Kind of the same thing, right? Cassidy can spin the dials, he can do what he can, but once that clock starts going high above T-Mobile Arena, it's on the players to execute. End of story. It's on the players. And Cassie didn't make a whole lot of, I don't think he made a single adjustment, honestly, besides maybe face-offs and stuff. I think I saw him send Nick Wye out there with one of the upper lines to go win a defensive zone face-off. Then he went right to the bench, almost like a 3-on-3 overtime scenario. So besides that, not a lot of adjustments. I think, Cassidy coached like Pete DeBoer. Cassidy coached that game like Pete DeBoer, just kind of stuck to it. And maybe there wasn't anything that could have been done. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
just the team not responding. They should have
yeah,
played better and should have
sometimes the
came
engine
out
doesn't turn.
with
Sometimes the
more
engine doesn't
intensity.
turn.
They should have had more intensity. Okay, coming up on Monday's show, we'll do
Fire
a
and
show
passion
tomorrow.
condos. There you go. Sorry.
Are we going to do a show tomorrow, Golic?
Yes, we're recording
Okay.
in playoff mode. Let's go.
All right, we're in playoff mode. You going to wear a green hat tomorrow?
We're green something. You got to tune
You
in to find
jinxed
out.
them. You jinxed them. You jinxed
Yes, I
VGK.
lost that game for the Golden Knights because I wore a green Golden Knights jersey. It's entirely on me.
It's your
Nothing to do with
fault.
the players. On me.
Okay, I'm going to go ice down. Took one in the rib cage too last night. Fun night though. Fun night.
Burrito.
No. I took
Oh.
not a flying burrito, an elbow. I was right next to the mosh pit. I got some good video there. And the video I showed, they weren't really heated up. They were starting to circle, but then they started to jump around.
See any of those? What do they
Slipped
call them? The death thing? What is it called when they do the like both sides they like go charging full speed Braveheart style?
Red
What is that called?
Rover?
I don't know.
No, it's not Red Rover.
Are we done
Okay.
yet?
We appreciate our everydayers. Thank you so much for tuning in on this special edition. We'll be back again on Monday. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. So long from Las Vegas. Enjoy your Sunday. Back again Monday, right here on Lockdown Golden Knights. Please Take care.